Well, welcome, Brandon. Man, the first time we sat down and met, Christy Foster was the one who introduced us, and Christy's someone that I love and adore. So when she said you have to get to know Brandon Barber, it's like, all right, I'm in. So it was fun when we got to sit down and get to know each other. And I am really excited to have you a part of the Speaker Symposium.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Like
Appreciate it.
some random lady is like, hey, will you come be a speaker in this? It's like, why not?
It was absolutely that. It was totally random, but at the same time, not.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about you. Who is Brandon Barber?
Now, that's a great question. That's a phenomenal question. I think 5 years ago, it would have been a different answer than it is today, for sure. 5 years ago, it would have been I am everything that I do. I am my work. I am this accomplishment. I am this achievement. Today, I would just tell you I'm resilience. Today, I would
Mm,
say I am confident. I am faith. Um, I am more than what I do for sure.
yeah,
But I've been a speaker and a coach for 21 years, helping people to really overcome those struggles in their life that hold them back, that get in their way, that get them stuck, and to move through that, to see their issues and struggles as their greatest genius, to see
mm,
their problems and um, their challenges as an actual path, a hero's
yeah,
journey, if you will. So the ability to help people see that and to see that when they go on these road of trials and when they go into the abyss and when they are living in the ashes, if you will, of the hero's path, that it's actually a path and it's a journey that every hero takes, or every
yeah.
great leader, or every heroine, whatever you want to call that, that is a path, and it's the path that we all take.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amen to all of that. In fact, I just did something on that yesterday with leaning in and trusting the unfolding, because often we get so caught up, especially when we're in pain and when things feel uncomfortable. And yet on the other side of those ashes is some of the greatest gifts that when you get to that place and you look back, you wouldn't change that experience for anything, right?
It's our
That's
goal.
been, yeah.
It is our goal. In Robert Bly's book, um, um, I can't think of the title of it. No, I'm like, it's only a book I've read like 50 times.
I know I
Iron
do that all
John.
the time. Oh, Iron John, yes.
Iron John. In Iron John, he talks about our our biggest wounds, our biggest struggles, that those things are our gold. That's the gold that
Mhm.
we celebrate. That's the treasure.
Yeah,
And I believe that. I believe that our biggest adversities, our biggest challenges, our biggest troubles are opportunities to celebrate that gold.
yeah,
And that we, when we go to war, if you will, with the battles and the struggles and the issues that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, we have one option. We have a three-legged horse we can go jump on, or we have a really strong four-legged horse. But the only way we're going to have that really strong four-legged horse is to recognize that all of those struggles and adversities and issues are actually gold. And they've
yeah.
created this four-legged horse for us to go to war and battle with.
Beautiful. I love that. Now you're going to be speaking to moving from surviving to thriving, correct?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking to and why you're so passionate? Because you're really passionate about this topic. This isn't just a, hey, I'm going to talk about it here. It's something it seems like you're quite passionate about.
Yeah. The reason I'm passionate about it is not only helping others go from a place of surviving to thriving, but in my own life, watching myself live in survival mode and just get by and recognize how bad that sucks. Because that's what brain's function is just to survive. But to
Hmm.
go from a place and saying, hey, this is not just survival. I'm actually thriving in this environment. I can thrive by looking around me and saying, what is it around me where I can look at that's an opportunity? Where am I growing? How am I learning so that I can serve someone else in the future? Because I
Hmm.
know that's our ultimate, like, that's the ultimate place of living in a beautiful state, if you will. Living in a beautiful place in our life is to go from a place of I'm growing so that I can serve.
Hmm.
You know, we look at the people in the world that have gone in that place, the Viktor Frankls of the world, Man's Search for Meaning. He's in a Nazi concentration camp and he's not just surviving, he's thriving. Where
Yeah.
there's death around him and abuse, and I mean, we know the horrific events that have happened. How did he thrive in that? How did Nelson Mandela thrive 25 years imprisoned wrongfully?
Hmm.
And they had two things on their mind. How am I growing? How am I learning so that I might be able to serve somebody in the future?
Yeah.
And for me to go from a place of, I just need so much certainty in my life and I need so much significance and I just need to feel where's my place in the world, and how that's just suffering over and over again. Where when I look around me and go, another opportunity, another place to grow, another place to learn, how can I live in that space so that I can serve another human being?
Hmm.
That's really happiness. That's really joy.
Yeah.
And so that's thriving. And to
Hmm.
go into that place instead of just doing what brain wants to do, which is survive.
Yeah. Well, and you and I were speaking a little bit before we started recording just about the interesting state that we're observing that our world is in. And I know for me, even I'm feeling it, and you spoke to you used the word languishing, that people are languishing, and that it's a little challenging to say yes to growth. And as we were chatting, one of the thoughts that kept coming in is what's the point, with where we're at in our world and the things that we've been going through, and a lot of the disillusion that's coming up, and the things that we've built our foundation on are crumbling, and I don't want to dive into all of this, but I think to what you're speaking on, I mean, is so needed right now, especially when you bring up Nelson Mandela and Viktor Frankl, who are in these horrific situations in an environment that would kill most anyone, especially kill their spirit and their soul. Yet these men thrived. And I think that that is so applicable to where we're at now, that no matter what the conditions or the environment is, you can have and learn tools that you're going to be teaching, that regardless of your situation, you can thrive.
100%. I think people in this languishing state, whether it's a breakdown of our systems, like you mentioned, or whether it's a just what society has sort of programmed us right now to be
Yeah.
in, it's that feeling of kind of, meh, why bother? What's the point? Whether you want to call that burnout or languishing, I don't even know if we're really aware. We
Hmm.
just know something's missing and we're capable of so much more,
Yeah.
but we don't tap into that.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's like I'm just waiting for a change. I'm waiting for something to create that spark. And I don't think we can wait.
Yeah, we have to be the change. We have to be the spark.
There's a crazy prediction by the World Health Organization that in the year 2030, every country in the world will be plagued by one thing above all else,
Hmm.
and it's depression. So every country in the world
Interesting.
will be set back or plagued by one thing more than anything else, and it's depression. And it's the people that are languishing now that are
Yeah.
going to end up in a full-blown depression in 2030. So
Hmm.
2030, you think about, it's 8 years. Like that's not far off.
Yeah.
I want to help people. I want to mess with that. Like I want to mess with that.
Let's change the numbers.
Yes. So that depression doesn't show up.
Yeah.
And we are just in a state of, hey, here, I'm in a state of languishing. I'm feeling down. What do I need to do to build myself up to a place where I don't end up in depression at some
Yeah.
point, where I end up in a place of thriving?
Hmm.
And so you got to be aware of the languishing that's there right now, which is that, why bother?
Hmm.
Why should I go do this? Instead of, hey, I want to do this so that I can grow and then I
Yeah.
don't die. Because if I'm not growing, I'm dying.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah.
I can really serve somebody, I can help people. How can I really show up big? And I know for
Hmm.
some people, it's like, huh, am I really getting behind that? Like, that doesn't seem like a lot of motivation. But if they only knew that thriving component and the difference between that and surviving, and how much more rewarding it is, how much more joyful it is, how much more
Hmm.
impactful it is, that they could go from this place right now where it's like, yeah, I'm kind of comfortable, it's okay, but how I could really get to this environment that I'm just so on top of the world, that's actually real.
Yeah.
That's a real place to get to.
Well, and I feel like oftentimes the word service is an interesting thing because we think it's taking something away from us, right? Of giving something away. And the truth is, we actually are receiving just as much, if not more, when we're giving service. I know for me, when I step into these places where I feel like I'm giving, I receive and have like these beautiful gifts that come back to me and get to see kind of almost what I'm capable of in certain circumstances that had I not done that, I wouldn't have received that. So I think that there's a little bit of a miss, I don't know what to, it's just something that has been so programmed in our society that, oh, that means I got to go do this thing and I have to give and I'm going to be depleted. And it's like, well, that's not really what happens when you're in true service.
I agree. I would go from a place of I need to go give, 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 and now I need to go rest for this lengthy period of time because I've given so much. But that's sacrificing.
Yeah.
That's like that's obligation. That's not really giving because you want to. It's
Hmm.
like my in order for me to survive, I have to be giving to people, or else it's like I don't go rest so that I give to people. I give to people so that I can rest. Right?
Yeah.
It's my survival. I
Hmm.
heard I heard a quote, and I may butcher this, but Eddie Vedder, who's the lead singer of Pearl Jam, somebody said, how do you go take care of your voice? And do you rest your voice? Do you like go drink tea? And how do you take care of it so that your voice is there? And he said, I don't take care of my voice. My voice takes care of me. Like I
Mm.
use it to take care of me.
Yeah.
And I thought that's exactly what I do with service. I use service to take care of me. So
Hmm.
when I'm giving to people, coaching people, speaking from a stage, wherever that is, helping my kids, having a conversation with them, that's for me. That's for
Yeah.
my own survival. That's for my thriving. Yes,
Mm.
I'm giving to them, but it gives so much more to me than to them. So I don't have to go on vacation and rest and like always take care of myself. I do those things, but I don't have to do them because I've given so much to people.
Yeah.
I'm excited to give to people because it brightens my life. It lightens me. That's a
Yeah.
different that's the difference between doing things out of obligation and doing things because you really want to.
Oh, I love that. I love it. So after people come and listen to you, what do you hope that they're going to walk away with? What's your wish that they would walk away with what when they're done listening to you?
Well, enlightenment for sure and awareness about that there's different possibilities, that they can show up differently in their life and have more. That
Mhm.
they don't have to live in triggers and reaction, that they don't have to live in a burned out state, that they can live in this thriving and this nourishing place that is so possible, that
Yeah.
they can feel better about the world, that they can really know there's more inside of them, that they have this power inside of them that's right at their fingertips, and that they do want to serve people um, out of pleasure instead of out of obligation, instead of out
Yeah.
of a should, a need to, a supposed to, instead of needing to do things because they have these unrealistic expectations of life, that
Mm.
they could actually want to serve another human being because it's going to feed their soul.
Yeah.
And so just to be able to come from to be able to live their life in a different space and to be able to be happier.
Mm. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate your time and I'm excited. Our event's less than 2 weeks away. It'll be awesome.
And think about all the people out there that are like, should I attend? Do I really want to grow me?
Yes, you do.
You do, because you don't want to end up in 2030 in this space plaguing society like so many places and people will be. You want to be one of the people that's going to help those people that are struggling in that environment so that
Yeah.
we can be of service and purpose in our lives. And I think that's the biggest thing.
I agree. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Brandon.
You're welcome so much.